People often think they know what to expect from you, but then something happens that completely changes their perspective. At first glance, they may see only a small part of who you are, just a glimpse of your personality or abilities. It's like looking at the cover of a book and assuming they've read the whole story. But as they spend more time around you, they start to realize there's so much more beneath the surface. This process is gradual. Maybe it starts with a comment you make or the way you handle a situation. It might seem small at the moment, but it sticks with them. Over time, they notice other things, the way you think, the decisions you make, the quiet confidence in how you approach life. Each new observation adds another layer to their understanding of you. With every discovery, their admiration grows. Eventually, they begin to see the full picture, and it's nothing like what they initially imagined. Their assumptions fall away, replaced by a sense of awe for who you truly are. You don't do anything flashy to grab attention. You simply live authentically. But in doing so, you consistently challenge what people thought they knew, leaving them surprised again and again. One thing that often catches people off guard is your intelligence. Maybe they didn't expect you to be so insightful or to have such a deep understanding of the world. They might have underestimated you, thinking you were only knowledgeable in certain areas. But as they get to know you, they realize just how much you see, understand, and know. It's a realization that leaves them stunned, as if they've uncovered a treasure they didn't even know was there. In the end, you make people rethink their assumptions without trying. You show them that there's always more to discover, not just about you, but about the world itself. There are moments when people realize they've completely misunderstood you. At first, they saw only what was on the surface, assuming they knew who you were. They scanned your actions, your demeanor, and your presence, thinking they had you figured out. But their assumptions were shallow, missing the depth and resilience that truly define you. Many may have thought you were easy to overlook, that you lacked the strength to stand firm or push back. Perhaps they believed you could be controlled, underestimated, or even dismissed. But time has a way of revealing the truth. Over time, they began to see how wrong they were. Your strength is not loud or forceful. It's steady, unwavering, and undeniable. Once they witnessed it, they understood it was something they couldn't challenge. As days, weeks, and months passed, their perspective shifted more and more. They started to see the person you truly are. They realized that their initial impressions were incomplete, and that they had underestimated not only your strength, but also your character and principles. What they thought they knew about you was nothing more than a fragment of the truth. Now their eyes are opening, and they're starting to understand the depth of your character. They see your unwavering values, your quiet resilience, and the foundation of strength that guides you. It's a revelation that continues to surprise them. They're learning that you are far more than they ever gave you credit for. This realization has left them no choice but to respect you. You've taught them that assumptions are fragile, and underestimating someone like you is a mistake they won't make again. By simply being yourself, you've shifted their perspective and reminded them of the power that lies in authenticity and quiet strength. There have been countless times when you've tried to show people your true self. You approach life with honesty and openness, wanting others to understand you for who you genuinely are. You're not one to hide behind facades or create illusions. What you see is what you get. If people ever find you mysterious, it's not because you're trying to be. It's simply a side effect of others not taking the time to fully understand you. Despite your efforts, there are those who seem to miss the mark. They don't always see your intentions clearly or grasp your values and way of thinking. Because of this, you often end up surprising them. For instance, when someone brings up a topic, you share your thoughts openly. Whether you agree or disagree, you explain your perspective with clarity and purpose. It's in those moments that people seem taken aback. They might say things like, "I didn't realize you thought that way," or "I didn't expect you to know so much about this." Their reactions show that you've revealed a side of yourself they didn't see coming. It's not that you're trying to surprise anyone. This is just you being you. But their assumptions about who you are make them unprepared for the depth you bring to the table. What's interesting is how their surprise serves as a reminder of how often people make quick judgments. They don't always take the time to see the whole picture. Yet when they finally do, they're left rethinking what they thought they knew about you. This pattern is familiar to you. Whether it's the way you approach life, the decisions you make, or the insights you share, you seem to constantly catch people off guard. While you're not doing it on purpose, it's clear you have a way of breaking expectations simply by being yourself. We live in a world where people are quick to judge, basing their opinions on what's immediately visible. They skim the surface, drawing conclusions from appearances or fleeting moments, rarely pausing to wonder about what lies beneath. Exploring deeper truths takes effort, and for many, it's easier to stick with what's comfortable, even if it means missing the bigger picture. That's why encountering someone like you leaves people unsettled in the best way possible. At first glance, they think they've figured you out. They label you, box you in, and feel confident in their assumptions. But as time passes, they begin to notice things they didn't expect. A perspective that's insightful, a decision that's bold, or an action that challenges their preconceptions. Slowly but surely, the layers of who you are come into focus, and their initial impressions start to unravel. What truly takes people by surprise is the depth of your character. It's not just what you know or how you think, but the way you carry yourself, the blend of intelligence, thoughtfulness, and quiet confidence they didn't see coming. You don't just make them reconsider their assumptions. You compel them to reflect on how much they rely on surface-level judgments. As they get to know you better, they find themselves thinking, "I had no idea." The person they imagined doesn't match the reality of who you are. They're forced to admit that what they first saw was only a small part of a much more intricate and fascinating whole. You stand as a reminder that people are far more than what they seem at first glance. While others might focus on outward markers like appearances or possessions, you prove that true value lies in depth, authenticity, and the ability to defy expectations. Every time someone thinks they understand you, you show them there's more. And in doing so, you leave a mark that goes far beyond what they ever anticipated. People often realize there's so much more to you than they initially thought. It's not that you're intentionally trying to surprise anyone. It's just who you are. But in simply being yourself, you've managed to completely change how others perceive you. Their reactions show just how much you've shattered their assumptions. It's not just surprising, it's transformative. Many people rely on first impressions, and they may not have expected the depth you bring to your thoughts, actions, and conversations. When they finally see your true self, they're taken aback, often admitting they had no idea you possess such insight or knowledge. Their surprise is a reflection of how much they underestimated you and how little they really understood at first glance. Moments like these are powerful reminders of how much more there is to each of us than what others see at first. By simply being yourself, you continue to inspire others to look beyond appearances and challenge their own assumptions. Keep embracing who you are. It's what makes you truly unforgettable.